Ah, Greetings and good evening to you all. Um, uh, uh, this is where normally we would have City of Destiny, a part of the Untold Stories project. Um, I am normally your host, Aaron, or your host and game master, Aaron. Tonight, I am simply your host. We are not going to be playing tonight. We had talked about taking the night off anyways for the holidays. Um, However, we had a bit of very sad news happen last week. Um, on Thursday evening, our friend Howard, who played Bulwark here on this stream, passed away unexpectedly as a result of a heart attack. Um, so uh, we thought we would come on and very briefly read his obituary and share our thoughts and memories of Howard. And and then they're probably going to call it a night there. If any of you have particularly fun memories of Bulwark that you'd like to share in the chat, please feel free to do so, and we'll read those as well. So, the obituary for Howard Jonathan Brody. Howard Brody, 57, died unexpectedly on December 23rd, 2021, at OSU Medical Center. He was born May 24th, 1964, the first of four sons to Norman and Gloria Brody. His family and friends know that when he loved you, he would and did do anything for you. He would give you the Marvel comic or Disney shirt off his back. He was kind, intelligent, generous, and loyal. He was a great listener and always put the needs of others before his own. Howard was an awesome game master and would welcome anyone to the table or an online session. He was a great writer, he composed many stories, and helped others with their craft. Howard always continued learning and became a massage therapist because he loved to help others. He loved movie marathons, especially Star Wars, Harry Potter, or the James Bond variety. He had the best Halloween costumes and never avoided the chance to attend an ugly sweater party. He loved baking, making huge messes in his kitchen, and sharing his fine treats with friends and family. Howard will be greatly missed by his parents, Norman and Gloria Brody, his wife Mary Heiser, his brothers Stuart and Kim Brody, David and Nancy Brody, and Dan and Kara Brody, and their families. Howard was an amazing uncle, the greatest gift giver, and valued his time with his nephews and nieces, Noah, Ben, Josh, and his wife Mara, Emmy, Sam, and Maggie. Howard was like family to many, a brother to anyone he met, and an honorary funkle to the children of his many friends. To all he loved, may his memory be a blessing. Play a game in his honor. Um, on a purely personal note, I've known Howard for, geez, it's over 30 years. I first met him when I was at a a convention in Columbus, Ohio called Marcon, where he was running a game of Champions that I was a player in. Um, at the time, gaming was not, it wasn't as popular and as common as it is now. Finding a game to get into was a big deal, and it took effort because there was no internet to help you find people to game with. Um, Getting to play a game at a convention was a big deal. And, you know, Howard and his friends, most of the people at that table knew him. And here I was, some 12-year-old snot-nosed kid. And he welcomed me to the table. He made me feel like I belonged there. He and his girlfriend hung out with me after the session when there was nobody at the convention I know to talk and hang out. I would see him regularly throughout the year since then. I got to game with him a couple dozen times, including many times with my daughter, Blue, here on the stream. And then when we were putting together City of Destiny, he was one of the first people to say, "Hey, I would love to play." Um, I would like to say that we were closer than we were. He was the kind of friend that you always knew was there, and you would go sometimes months without talking, but when you did see each other, it was like no time at all had passed. Um, he was someone I trusted implicitly, um, and always counted on for being there in both the best and worst of times. Um, the world is definitely a dimmer place without him. Howard was Jewish, like I am, and in the Jewish tradition, we do not say rest in peace. Instead, we say, may their memory be a blessing. Um, for Howard, my memories of him absolutely were a blessing. And I know that I'm not the only person who can completely truthfully say that. So I think that's the last I've got to say, other than I will finish what he said at the end of every session of City of Destiny: play the game. And anyone else who would like to say a few thoughts about Howard, just jump in.
I mean, I didn't know him very well. I kind of just met him doing the stream. But for coming on as someone who's, I did this half-assedly one other time and knowing really nothing, he was always very helpful.
Yeah, like Steph, I didn't know him outside of our stream, but he was always the first one here, and he always had a smile, and I was always ready to jump in and participate. And for our big crossover episode when we were supposed to be dressing up, he's the one who offered to go and buy my welding mask in the middle of the day while I was at work, and bring it over to my house, and just I only known him like for 8 weeks at that point, and he was willing to go and take a trip in the middle of the day to go buy something dumb from Lowe's for some kid he didn't know across town. And I don't know, the world needs more people like that, and more people who are willing to not just make gaming a friendlier space, but make the world a friendlier place where people are there to help each other. I I don't even know what I feel so bad for the people who knew him much longer than I do, because he's a light. He was a light in my week for what, 13 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
I also met Howard as a result of our game and our stream, and I remember when we were first getting started talking about ideas, and he just came up with this idea for an octogenarian, and I was like, really? And he did it so well, it ended up being the heart of the group. Something that could have just been nonsense was nonsense, but in beautiful nonsense. And I think he went a long way to kind of gluing us all together, both in the game and in real life as a group. And for one, I know the memories I have with him are a blessing. And the only thing I regret is that there aren't enough of them.
Yeah. I mean, I will never share them with the audience, but if you guys could see our group chat when we were planning out this game, um, you know, Howard was the first person to drop a concept into our chat, and his first concept was a fairly traditional superhero concept, um, which I am not taking anything away because uh, but when Wiki brought up the idea of um, bringing in the uh, the octopus in a mech suit, which had started as a joke idea from a different game I ran. If you listen to something Dragons, you would have heard the side story we did of something mutants, which is where Wiki originally came up with what became Professor Cephalopod, because it started as very much a joke. But then Howard was the one who was like, well, I had this other idea, and I was originally thinking that he should be like in his 60s or 70s, but he could be in his 80s, and we could be the Octo Squad. And and Howard he was the kind of person who, to what Aunt Kelpie was saying, he didn't care that you didn't know the rules of the game. He was going to make sure that you were having fun with the game, and he would help you figure out the rule part. Because I know that Aunt Puppy keeps saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys, because I don't know the game so well, and I'm not as experienced as you, and I'm not as good of a writer as you, I'm not as creative as you." Which, by the way, you're wrong. But but Howard was always the very first voice to say, no, you're absolutely contributing something vital to this group and to this game and to this stream, and was happy to help out with any mechanics issues or questions that anyone was having.
He gave me my new power.
He gave me the new power. He did. Yeah, that was his suggestion. So, unless anyone else has anything specific that they want to share, I think we're probably going to wrap this short. We could talk about him indefinitely, but I think it's probably better to keep this short and sweet. For those who are watching our game, I have already started to figure out how we can gracefully have him exit without, while still doing so in a way that pays tribute to everything that Howard brought to the game and brought to our hearts. So Bulwark will probably be leaving the team in the next couple of episodes. I imagine that we will eventually add another member to the cast because a team of 5 makes for just a better stream, a better game, better ways to bounce things off. But it'll probably we're going to take a few weeks. We need time to grieve, and we also want to make sure that whoever we bring in fits in well with the group dynamic. Yeah, like I said, unless someone else has something specific they'd like to share, we're going to go ahead and sign off there. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for giving us a place to play, giving me a chance to get another good game in with one of my oldest friends. And we will see you all next week.
Play a game.
Thanks.
Play many games.
Play a game.